I'd like you to imagine that you're a football player. You're good, very good, in fact. And that's why you're playing in the English Premier League for a well respected team. For the sake of this story, let's say you're a midfield player with Nottingham Forest. As a player, you train 4 and 5 times a week. You play competitive matches on a Saturday or a Sunday, and often on a Tuesday or a Wednesday too. Football is your life, the thing you always wanted to do. And while your career is the realization of a childhood dream, there have been a lot of sacrifices along the way, sacrifices that got you to where you are today. When you were younger, while all your friends were out partying and drinking, you stayed in. You didn't drink, you didn't smoke, and you didn't experiment with drugs of any kind because football came first. When all your friends got girlfriends, you didn't. You could never spare the time. On the rare occasions that you did get a girlfriend, the relationship was pretty much over before it even began, just as soon as she realised that football came first, second, and third in your life. There's been no trips to fancy restaurants for you. You've been on a nutrition-rich diet for the past 12 years. Along the way, you've had numerous operations to patch you up after injuries, some minor, some a little bit more serious. Yes, you've been rewarded handsomely along the way. You have the nice house and the fancy car, but you've given everything to football in general and to your club in particular. And your team is involved in the FA Cup competition. It's a season highlight, a very real shot at a cup final medal for your own personal trophy cabinet. You make it through the third round and you have a really good game. In fact, so good you're named man of the match. You score 2 goals in the fourth round to secure your team's place in the fifth round. You make a couple of crucial tackles in that game, and while it's close, you're now in the quarterfinals. That quarterfinal match is tight. In fact, it goes to penalties, but you score the winning penalty that takes your team into a semi-final showdown with one of your biggest rivals. That semi-final is the toughest game of the entire season. Both teams are desperate to secure their place in the Wembley final, so it's a cagey affair. And things aren't helped by the fact that you're experiencing some pain in your ankle. It's been a long, hard season and you're no longer quite at peak fitness. But you do your best. You work as hard as your body will allow. Your team wins and it books its place in a Wembley final. Now, you will admit that the semi-final game was not your best, but no one could question your work ethic or your work rate. So you're a little surprised when the manager calls you to his office 2 weeks before the FA Cup final. He tells you that not only are you not picked for the final, you're officially up for sale. Despite your hard work, commitment, and dedication, and the part you played in getting your team to the final, your services are no longer required. So when that cup final rolls around, you're watching it on TV. While there's part of you that will be forever Nottingham Forest, you're not even sure who you want to win. You've been discarded, cast aside, and now you're just a bystander. You're not even watching from the touchline, you're watching it from the sofa. Last month, the S&P Global UK Construction reported that the UK construction industry had experienced its highest level of job shedding since August 2020, the very height of the COVID-19 pandemic and the middle of the first national lockdown. Industry employment levels fell at the fastest rate for 5 years, and amid a lack of new work in the sector's pipeline, many companies reported that they were reluctant to backfill existing vacancies. Now, we all know how demolition and construction works. It's a team effort with dozens or even hundreds of people involved in bringing a project to fruition. In fact, there could be that many people involved in actually securing the project in the first place. There's the people that prepare the bid, the people that do the planning and logistics, the people that organise the men and the machines. But it runs deeper than that. In all likelihood, a company will secure a new project based, at least in part, on its previous experience. If you've won the job to demolish a 20-storey tower block because you did a very similar job just a few months ago, then directly or indirectly, everyone involved on that previous tower block has made a contribution to the winning of this new job. In fact, much like our FA Cup analogy, there's every possibility that there are certain individuals whose hard work, dedication, expertise, passion, commitment, and experience are the very reason a company has secured this exciting new project. But also, like that football analogy, there is also a possibility that those people will not be taking place in the final, that they too will be watching from the sofa while others enjoy the glory. Sometime between your efforts getting your team across the finish line on that previous job and the winning of this new one, you've been let go. Someone on high has decreed that your services are surplus to requirements. So now, while your former team make ready for this next big challenge, you're sat by the phone, hoping and praying that another team comes in for you, one that recognises your skills and your talent. Of course, this is the nature of modern business. In the sphere of demolition and construction, much like in professional football, the one-club man is a rarity. It's true also that individual workers will leave their employer for the promise of a pay increase, a promotion, or a better company car. So this is unquestionably a sword that cuts both ways. That knowledge makes it no less uncomfortable to be sat on the sidelines while your team prepares to do battle once again. Of course, all of this comes down to the wishes of the manager or the management. Whether it's football, demolition, or construction, they will pick the team they believe to be the best. Your former team might do an incredible job. Your former teammates might get all the plaudits. Yet despite your invaluable contribution, you won't even get a mention in the footnotes.